Hello and welcome to my video on these 2021 sets. So these are all the April sets and there are 3 of them, and they will be the Darth Vader helmet, a Scout Trooper helmet and an Imperial Probe Droid statue. So I'll be going through each of these in mild amount of depth. So I'll also be doing in-depth video on each, so if you want you can check this out. If you do enjoy this video, subscribe because I'll be doing more of these in the future. So we will start off with the 75304 Darth Vader helmet, and it's a pretty good set. So it's 18 plus and has 834 pieces, which is pretty good. And the 18 plus I think is a good thing to put on it, because I'm guessing it helps Lego if they're advertising, and as a child you probably won't buy this because it's not like a very playable thing, it's just a statue for display. And it will cost $70, we don't have the price in pounds. And I'm guessing it'll be 65 because all the rest of them, they're £5 less, and well, they're £5 less than the dollar price, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, so the set itself is pretty good. The box art I really like. It's got like the red rim around it and then the white, and it's all like black other than that. And the writing is brilliant. It just looks so clean, I'd say, and it's like very, I think it would work well with the target audience because there's nothing in the background. It just displays the thing that you're wanting to see, and it has your Lego logo and Star Wars, and on the side it says Helmet Collection with the helmet as well. The back of the box you have the helmet, this time with a blue like fade, and then underneath you have a couple photos. So you have like a photo of Darth Vader. I think that might be like an off-camera one because I don't remember that scene in the film. And then you have a photo of the bust with its like height, which is 20 centimeters or 8 inches, which is a pretty good height. And then another helmet of Darth Vader's. So the set itself is alright. I like the top part. Anything from like the mouth part up, I like. The eyes are really well done, and the folds, like where the flaps come out, it's well done, and the points are all done. But I don't like the bottom part. It just looks kind of weird. I'm guessing it's supposed to be the top of his like body, and then it's got a neck, but the neck doesn't really exist, and it just doesn't look right to me. It just looks like it's kind of been attached on very badly, like they could have done it better. And it's alright. It does come with a tail like brick separator, as does the other helmet. But then I don't know why. I think they're Lego just trying to mix it up, and they've put an orange one on the Probe Droid, so slightly random. But it does look to be quite a nice model. It is kind of done like the Boba Fett with the studs facing out. And this is a picture of it. It does seem to have quite a thick instruction manual like that. Looks to be quite wide. It's almost as wide as like the flat bit of the base, and on the base you do have the plaque with Darth Vader, and it does look like to be quite a very well displayable, but not so from the underside. I would say you'd want to display it like on a lower shelf, because then looking out from under it, I don't think it looks very good. And then this is it kind of disassembled, the top of it anyway, and it looks kind of alright underneath. Like there's no face, which I wasn't really expecting. But it does look like they've kind of gone with different colours, because you can see in one of those bills there's like oranges and blues, and then the other one there's like a lavender piece, so they've kind of gone with randomish colours, which I think does improve like the build experience, and that is something Lego's mentioned, that they, if it's a model's like all black or all white or like just one colour, then they will put like other coloured pieces in where you wouldn't see them, and it's a nice wee feature. And then this is it displayed on a shelf, and it does look nice. It just to me, the neck part just doesn't look right, but the rest of it looks pretty good. And then, so if you do compare it to this is the one, the helmet's not as good, but the neck just looks nicer, and because it's also got like the top of his chest, it kind of has that like over it, but it does, detail on the helmet looks much better. It just looks slightly, it's more studded, but it looks better. And then, yeah, it looks alright compared to that one. Like, if you look at it compared to the real thing, which you saw at the start, it doesn't look that bad off, but I'll talk about that more in my in-depth video, which will be linked in the description. So next we have the 75305 Sky Trooper helmet with 471 pieces. It's also 18 plus, so I think if LEGO keeps on doing this April wave, which I think they should, because it does seem, I think it's one that kind of helps with like making the range of LEGO different, so it's not all for kids and it's not all for adults. So it will be £45 or $50. That's not a bad price, I'd say. Like, its pieces are kind of in between, and it's a pretty good price per piece. And the box art is the same kind of idea, except from the writing slightly different. And I don't know if the last series had the helmet collection on the side, I'm not sure about that. But then on the back of the box is the same idea. It's 2 centimeters shorter, so it's 18 centimeters or 7 inches. And it has a couple pictures of Scout Troopers, and it does look really clean. Like, it's a really nice model because they've got like some parts are studded and then some parts are smoothed off, and it's a really good model. There are a few stickers, but they're not unnecessary. Like, they haven't just stuck them on because they could be there, but they're ones that you would probably want. And then you have its plaque with a Scout Trooper, and it just looks really nice. It does look kind of small. I would say that it is a couple centimeters shorter, but it just looks slightly smaller, maybe because without the neck, but I didn't really like the neck anyway. But it's such a nice design. The way it's all kind of plated and it looks quite thin. They've got all the details they need, and the eye part, because I did in my previous video kind of mentioned like one of the models looked really good, but then the eyes weren't done well, and this is one I think they have done the eyes really well. And then if you look at it compared to like your Scout Trooper helmet, you'll see I actually think it's better because Scout Trooper helmet you can do more like bend it, and then there's also printing, and it does look really good. You don't have any like neck bit, which I think is good because it's all stand. You don't really need to include the neck. But then if you look at it compared to like an actual Scout Trooper helmet, it's like the eyes are slightly not like they don't go down as low as you might expect. But other than that, it is almost perfectly detailed. I think it's like probably one of the better sets of the two, and I think it's probably one of the best helmets. I like the Scout Trooper, this is like the way it looks in the movie, so I'm slightly biased towards it, but still I think LEGO's done an excellent job with this set, and considering it's cheaper than the previous ones and the other one, it'll probably sell really well. And then this is like it being held up. And well, also the other thing you notice, like, because they're targeting towards an adult audience, generally you'd have like a kid playing with it for these images, whereas these they've kind of got like an adult looking at it, or like it being taken apart in a more like sorted manner, and then it on display, and it does also look to be pretty good on display. And so that is the Scout Trooper helmet. Next we have the Imperial Probe Droid. 18 plus 75306 with 683 pieces, and I like it. I was kind of surprised because it's in grey, different, but it looks better to me. We'll talk about that more a bit later. So its price is £55 or $60, and it's a fair price because like 683 pieces, more pretty good price per piece. And then the box art looks nice. It's also done. Last time they did a model, they didn't do it on the black background, and I think it was 16 plus. This time it's 18 plus, and it looks really nice. And the bit it's standing on, which I'll talk about a bit more, it's snow instead of the black thing, and it looks. I think that's a really good idea with LEGO, and the plaque is like snow on it, and it's really good. And then, like you see on the back of the box, it is 27 centimeters, so quite a bit taller than the past two. The other helmets, and it is 10.5 inches. And then on the bottom you have 3 images, and those images are kind of ones I think they've placed there because in the two like left and right, the middle one it's further away, but on the two left and right it looks quite grey, so they might have just done that to make show that this model is actually grey, which does beg the question, why are they done in black for the rest of the like normal minifigure scale models? But anyway, and it looks, so you have a clear bit which has a Technic beam running up it, which means you can see it a bit easier, but it doesn't really matter. And the detail is brilliant. It's curved, but it's not, they haven't used curved pieces, they've just used the slopes and they put them on an angle. And the legs, so the droid, their legs are really well done because each one's different and probably accurate. You have the two antennas, which have like the bit that was on the end of the blaster in the 75280 501st Battle Pack, well, 501st Legion Trooper anyway. And then on top of it, you got all the eyeball, well, like the eyes or whatever. And it does look really nice. And there's a couple stickers, but I do think they're well placed. And then underneath is the snow part. They always have done a black bit. And this just looks so much nicer because it's kind of put on it well. And then you've got your sign, which has snow on it. And it's just a really nice touch. As I mentioned, this one does have an orange brick separator, which is slightly different. I'm not sure why they did that. And if you look at this model, it does look kind of grey. It's like a darker, so Lego colours, like they don't have all the colours. So it's kind of in between there, black and grey. And I think Lego going with the grey wasn't the worst decision. I think it works well. I like this model a lot more than I was expecting. Like whenever I originally heard that this set was going to be a Pro Droid, I was not looking forward to it. But now I'm pretty happy with it. And this is another one of it where it's not clear images because when the films were filmed they're slightly lower quality and the colours have been off. For example, the Imperial AT-AT pilot was like always done in white, but the actual prop was like a sand blue because of the lighting. So I think that may be where Lego's gone with, because maybe the lighting made it look blacker and it's actually grey. So I don't know, but that's my theory about it. But if you look at it compared to this, so the main difference is it's in black and there's no variation with like the legs. I don't really like the model, like the normal Lego model, but if they could probably change it a bit. I think that's something they'll do. They might put it in grey, and I think that it's a really nice set, and for the price, it's fairly good. I think it's cheaper than the last one. This is a picture of it and it looks pretty good. Taken apart, it looks really interesting on the inside. I'm sure there'll be quite a bit of technique. And if you look on that tray on the side, there's like a bunch of pieces. I don't know if they've been used before, but they all look really nice. And I think some of them probably are exclusive. I haven't looked enough into the set to know if they precisely are. But they do look to be pretty, like, the gunmetal grey, I believe is the correct Lego colour. And it does look to be like quite a nice build. And on display, it looks really good. I'm very surprised, to be honest, how well this one turned out. But thanks for watching. This was quite a fun video to make. It did turn out to be a pretty good wave, which is something I wasn't expecting. See you in the next one.